And we're live. So now I'm going to introduce you in Portuguese, and then I'm translating to English for you, okay?
Yeah.
Galera, que vocês já estão aí acompanhando a gente agora nessa live às 10 da manhã no sábado, porque lá na Holanda, onde a Laura mora, são 3 horas da tarde, por causa do horário de verão europeu, eles estão 5 horas à nossa frente. E, bom, Laura, a nova vocalista do Burning Witches, e ela também é vocalista do Shadow Rise. O Burning Witches está com um disco novo lançado agora, eu tenho até uma perguntinha a respeito disso quando a gente começar, que é o Dance with the Devil. E é uma banda formada só por mulheres, uma banda muito, mas muito legal dessa nova geração do heavy metal tradicional. Então, Laura, I just said to our viewers that you are the singer of Burning Witches, that you have already released your first album with the band, Dance with the Devil, that you have Eyes. So now, thank you very much for joining us, for taking your time to spend this hour with us, and welcome.
Yeah. Hi, happy to be here. So, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Claudio, Jay, do you want to say something?
No, you can start because you already said you have one question.
Okay.
Yes.
You've just released your first album, as I mentioned, with Burning Witches. Yeah. And now we have the pandemic, quarantine stuff and everything. So it's not that good. Now you have a really good record to show the people, to go on the road to shows, summer festivals in Europe and everything. And then everything was canceled. How does it feel? How are you dealing with all this happening and the future plans for after all this shit ends?
Yeah. When it happened, I was like, oh, okay. So we just released the album, and it's like, yeah, okay. We just did one show with that album, and then that was it, So I was like, okay, whatever. And then, I kind of knew that this, of course, is like a situation for a lot of bands, so I didn't take it too heavily. But it's a bit of of course, it's a bit of a shit situation. But it is for everyone. So I actually just moved into my boyfriend's place, and I started to kind of like organize his house because I was like, okay, everything was kind of everywhere, so it was clean, but it was like, what the fuck just happened, you know what I mean? So I kind of tried to do that, and I tried to move in with all my stuff, and and then I started gardening. So because I was kind of, there was not much to do, so it would have been a busy period, but then,
we discovered new talents.
Huh?
We find out new talents in us.
Yeah, I mean, I discovered I'm not that good yet at gardening, but I just do it. It's chill because you can sit there and I didn't have a garden for years, but I really love to just when I wake up, get a coffee, sit in the garden, and feed the fish and watch the fish. It's so relaxing. So I don't know. I just because I had a lot of time, I started to think of doing things like the Borona garden vlog, because I just simply had the time. And I wanted to keep myself busy a bit. So, but it was really fun. I did a stream and to connect with the fans in some way, and everyone is bored, of course, so that was fun to do. And I also had time for my Patreon, which is also new, and the Big Cartel Shop, which is also new, because I finally had time, so at least I made the best out of it. And for the band, actually a lot of good things happened, because maybe we couldn't actually go on the road as planned, but the tour we had in April that was cancelled is now in November. Mm-hmm. Not all of the gigs are still happening, so it's a bit sad for the fans that hoped for us to also go to Spain, because those are not in there anymore. But of course we will go there again in future. And now we also had time to work on, for example, like someone in America, Jeff Keller from Artery Foundations, I think. He is now our management in America, and he found a really good booker also, and I think it's not announced yet, so I won't say it just to be sure. It's not announced yet, but yeah, we got really cool news coming up for the bookings. So we're going to probably be next year we'll be in America too. So that's great.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I hope that's
in America too.
I'm sorry?
Yes. I hope that
hopefully in South America too.
Yes,
I hope so too. Yeah, I really don't know, to be honest. So we just have to wait for that. Yeah.
Okay, guys, do you have any questions?
CLAUDIO.
Go on, Jay. Go on, Jay.
And I just read that your debut with Burning Witches was on the Sweden Rock Festival, right?
Yes.
And how was it? How was it to the first show on a big crowd in a big festival like that?
Yeah, it was super special. Like for the first time, yeah, I had a gig with them, and it was already this big, you know. So, yeah, I was, you know, most of all very focused and tense, you know, because of course it was pretty new to me, and I just had to. I wanted to nail it, and yeah, it was a bit. I couldn't enjoy it as much as I would enjoy it now if I would do it again, you know, because now I'm, you know, more, yeah, everything's in there, you know what I mean? It's a whole different experience, of course, but I was super happy that it all worked out fine and people were happy, and it was also funny because some people, because we didn't announce that it would be my first gig with them, it was funny because some people thought it was Serena. And there was this one reviewer that actually reviewed live for a few times, and he said, and it really cracked me up. He thought that Serena had a boob job. I was like, okay. But
did you have any warm-up gig before?
Did a warm-up gig? No. But I did have, of course, I did have some rehearsals. So. Yeah, I did that, you know, I practiced a lot at home, like the whole day. I tried to remember the lyrics and stuff like that, you know, so I was well prepared. And of course, I went for an audition. I went for the second time, you know, where we rehearsed, and then, I kind of lost track there. I think we had a third time. Yeah, it's already like leaving my mind now. I never remembered these kind of details very well, but yeah, we just, you know, I just really had to work hard for it to be ready, and that's what we did. So yeah, it worked out fine.
It's cool. You mentioned that was everything new for you when you have this first gig, the only gig so far with Burning Witches. But what's the difference for you? If you have to compare Burning Witches, all things regarding Burning Witches to Shadow Rise, if there's any difference.
Yeah, differences. Okay, there's musical differences.
Yeah.
For example, with the gigs, you know, I did you know, some bigger gigs, but yeah, festival is a whole different experience because there's such a space between you and the audience, and the crowd reacts differently because it's a festival. Everyone is in like a holiday mood, you know what I mean? So it's just a totally different vibe going on compared to a club show. And with Shadow Rise, I didn't do a lot of festival shows, so it was totally different. Also with, you know, how you interact with the crowd was totally different. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the musical differences is Shadow Rise is more symphonic metal, and it has, you know, this heaviness of death metal and the catchiness of power metal. So it's kind of in between genre. And I did the clean vocals, and the guy that, you know, also played guitar, he did the screams. But now I did all vocals, you know. So it was a lot of fun for me to be able to do this diversity of vocals, you know, because yeah, I am this kind of singer that just, you know, loves to do everything possible, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yes. And you mentioned the audition you had for Burning Witches. Well, how everything happened? You know, how was the invitation for you to audition to replace? I don't know how to pronounce her name, Serena Telly. Say how do I? But you got that. How was everything from the invitation to the moment you were officially the new singer, the Burning Witches new singer?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, of course, there was a bit of pressure, because yeah, everyone really was enthusiastic about Sarayna's voice, and yeah, now that I had to replace her with a singer that hopefully everyone was enthusiastic about as well. So yeah, of course, I had to, kind of, we had to do something to give the fans, for them to, show who I was when I entered the band, and that's why we quickly recorded Wings of Steel. So we did it especially for the fans, so that to show them we would go strong on Wings of Steel, and that's what we did, and I really love that song. Yeah, because the amount of energy in there, I think it's one of the best songs we have on the album, and yeah, I'm happy that we did that. So.
Okay, Jay.
Laura, I want to know what's your musical influences?
Musical influences. Yeah, I have a lot, to be honest, because I just like to listen to a lot of music, as long as it's melodic, So, but I listen, mostly to metal, since I was, I don't know, 15, 16 or something. I started to, get some pocket money from my grandma. She said, okay, get some music, So I went to the record store and I got Puddle of Mud. Totally different, maybe then. Okay, it's not exactly metal, but I just like that one song that I have. I really like that. She fucking hates me. That one.
Yeah,
so, I still like music with some humor in it, but I soon started to listen to With a Temptation. And after that, because it's also at the W, I kind of also turned into a fan of Wasp. So there you have kind of like my main influences, like the symphonic stuff and the 80s heavy metal. So that's cool. I started to listen to more of that, of course. So both genres, these were my main genres and still are the main genres I listen to. As long as it's melodic, So for example, this section is kind of, it is black metal, but it's like super catchy, So that's why I also really like the section. So I listen to a lot, and for vocals, I really love to sing to good pop singers. So Beyonce, for example, because I was like, oh, I want to be able to do that, So it made me a little bit envious.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Huh?
That's what I was going to ask you, because in a song like Black Magic, we hear a very diverse vocal range, and I thought this girl could sing heavy metal and pop music.
Yeah,
the same quality. So how did you start singing? How was your first touch with music as a singer?
Yeah, I tried to do The Final Countdown. It's one of the first songs that I was trying, because I was like, this shouldn't be too difficult, but I tried, of course, With a Temptation too, but the thing is, I just couldn't control my voice well yet, so I just had I'm speaking now, that was my voice, so I could sing like something like that. Not more, so I had a feeling for the tones, and I kind of had a feeling for it, but my voice just didn't really do what I wanted. So when I would do With a Temptation, my voice would break in the high notes, and with The Final Countdown, it was like the final countdown, and then the neighbors at some point would sing along. So I wasn't really a good singer from the start, but I just really took lessons at some point, and I started to get into this band because it was like a huge pop school for people that just want to do it as their spare time activity. So I was in a pop rock band first, and after that I had lots of other bands, So I kind of always was in between pop, rock, metal, and eventually I, of course, liked metal the most. So I started to get into more serious metal projects and bands, and eventually Pretty Witches. So
it's interesting that you mentioned Within Temptation and symphonic metal, because Within Temptation has changed a lot, especially since Hydra, and Resist is a totally different record. I love the Resist. I think it's a great album. But as a fan, since you start listening Within Temptation back then, what do you think of all those changes? Because they are it's the same band, but two different bands on the same band. If you follow,
Yeah, to be honest, I think they changed even a lot before that already. So, for example, I don't like the Dark Force at all.
Oh.
I don't like that album. Yeah, I do like the first albums a lot. So, when they still made more like doom metal, I really love those. It's not really doom metal at the same time, but then you know which albums I'm talking about. And then I started to get on the radio with Mother Earth, Ice Queen, so I also love those albums. And then actually, I think, I actually like the latest album. I'm really, kind of happy with the sound, although it's not completely the thing I want to listen to a lot either. Am I now still on screen? Because I'm going to a tab actually to... Oh yeah, I remember actually. So the Unforgiven is an album I really like because it's like more power metal kind of, so...
Yeah.
And I was also surprised they did that, but I was really happy with that. And yeah, I just, it's always a surprise with them.
Jay, Claudio.
Coming back to Burning Witches, how did you come across with the recording the Manowar tribute cover? How did you come across with the idea?
Yeah, Romana is already a fan of them for a long time. One of the main influences for Romana, and she thought it was cool because she also knew this guy to ask him to do this solo, and he said yes, and it all came together that we really wanted to do this Manowar cover. So yeah, kind of it made a lot of sense to do it, and
but
that's why. And now we even have this tour still, luckily in November. So hopefully it will really happen because I'm like, Corona still isn't really completely gone. So let's see. I really hope it will happen. You know what I mean? I'm like, I hope it will.
Well, can I say, because I'm guessing you were not that excited about recording a Manowar cover, you didn't sound too excited about the Manowar.
No, at first I didn't because I didn't knew them myself so well. But when I really started to get into it, I really started to see, this is actually pretty cool because they do sometimes such simple things which sound so impressive, you know what I mean? And I really, impressed the crowd with the way they play and how they're on stage. And I thought, this is actually something I like now, so I had to really get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a band I didn't knew I could actually like. But when I started to do this song and also especially this song, it's a really cool song, because lots is happening in there, and it's like a story where you of this battle going on, and there's this almost musical kind of piece in between, and it was lots of fun actually, and I didn't expect that, when I started to do this.
Okay. Well,
it's a funny thing when we let the music come inside of us because we're going to sing it. The song starts to become yourself somehow, and then you start to like it.
Yeah, no, I really do now. Yeah, and I grew into it more, to be honest. Yeah, I do like even other songs of them, which I also didn't expect. But now I'm like, hey, what's this? Oh, it's Manowar. Oh, I like it. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, that's cool.
And I got one more question.
Go, Jay.
I'm not sure if you're able to talk about it, but how's the situation of the guitar player? Are you going to stay with only one guitar, or you're going to look for another one since Sonia's not in the band anymore?
Yeah. We're going to look for another one. I'm going very soon now to Switzerland to be with an audition. So fingers crossed for that to be okay. And hopefully we can announce someone. Yeah.
And talking about covers, are you still playing the Holy Diver from Dio?
Yeah, I really loved, his singing style, and I really like that song. So yeah, we play it a lot.
Cool.
Well, Laura, which song from a band or an artist outside of metal do you like to cover with Burning Witches? Because Manowar is a metal band, so it's like an easy thing to do. But a cover of a pop song or another, which one would you cover?
Yeah, well, it's not metal, but I do like Rebel Yell, for example, from
Billy Idol.
Yeah, Billy Idol.
Yeah, cool
It's a
song.
favorite.
That would be an interesting Burning Witches heavy metal version. That would be interesting if you do that.
Yeah, I think it would work because it's totally 80s, and I think why not? It would, of course, it would work.
I would love to hear you singing Total Eclipse of the Hearts from One Side. That's the best song in the world.
Yeah, that would be cool too. Yeah. Nice.
Daniel, we have to thank Tarcísio Chagas.
Yes.
He's a friend of ours. He's translating the interview on the chat's comments here for us.
Oh.
Okay. Do you have any more questions?
No, pode ir.
So I guess we can open for the viewers for them to make their questions, and we ask them to.
Oh, I had the wrong chat on. I was like, where is everyone? But there are so many people, but they're all speaking. They're all speaking Portuguese. So here's one.
Some
Like
of them
poison.
are trying to write in
Poison
English.
Huh?
Some of them are trying to write in English.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Ok, I'm gonna speak with them in português, Laura. Galera, eu não consigo pegar as perguntas que vocês deixaram antes, porque, mais uma vez, fica passando direto, a Laura mesmo reparou que é muita coisa. Então, por favor, comece a botar suas perguntas agora para a gente poder fazer para ela. While they are writing their questions, Laura, were you caught by surprise with Sonia leaving the band for joining the Crypta?
I wasn't surprised. Well, I didn't expect it this soon. I mean, she's always been, because I know her for longer, she's always been someone that really likes to just do whatever, pops up in her mind, and she's doing it. But I didn't expect it this soon. But yeah, of course, most probably she would have done it at some point, but now there was, of course, a little bit of tension because, the rest of the band was like, "Ooh, now you're in so many projects," and of course she was doing a lot. Yeah, is this going to be okay? And because of this, yeah, it was a little bit there for longer, but yeah, I mean, maybe in different circumstances it would have happened this fast, but so I was kind of surprised it happened now. But I wouldn't have been surprised if she would have, at some point left to put more time in this death metal thing, because she's already also, busy with death metal for a long time. And this is, of course, her own project that she started. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if it started, if she left at the moment when it got very busy. But yeah, I'm surprised it happened now. But anyway.
Okay, they make sense because the band doesn't have songs for a full album, so it's really the early stage of the band. So one question here from Aldemir Márcio.
One question before the audience.
Go, Jay.
And how's the status of Shadow Rise? The band is still active. You're producing anything? How things are going there?
It's not really active, to be honest, because we tried to write a new album, and then we had so many musical differences because our main songwriter was just like, oh, let's make this, and he felt that it was still Shadow Rise, but we all felt like, ooh, this is totally different. You know what I mean? So for me as a singer, my problem was not that it was per se a little bit different, because I don't really care that much about it being different normally. But for me, it was just not enough of a song structure in it, you know. And I'm this singer that likes to just write songs, you know what I mean? So yeah, for me, it didn't work anymore, and the rest of the band actually was like, "Ooh, this is not Chatterize anymore." So yeah, it didn't really work anymore, and I wouldn't mind to do another Chatterize thing in the future, but I think it will take a lot of years before maybe someone thinks, "Ooh, let's do it again."
So your main focus is on Burning Witches?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, first question from our viewers. Aldemir Mastro, would you accept an invitation to be in a men's band just like Flor Jansen did? Because actually, Flor Jansen is in Nightwish, but she's already have Revamp and After Forever. She was the only only woman in the band. So, but that's the question.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't see, you know, I've been in a lot of guys' bands because, you know, there's not that many girls out there playing music in general, I think. Not as much as guys. So, yeah, I mean, I was in this rock band then with, just another singer, to be honest. Yeah, so it's like, I never been, before Burning Witches, I never been in a band with other girls, to be honest. So, of course, you know, if it's good, if I like it, of course.
Okay, one question by Priscilla Metal. I'm going to translate it to you, Laura. Good morning here, and good afternoon there. She's a lot of fan. She's a fan of your work. A big fan of your work, and she wants to know what are your 5 top heavy metal bands, female heavy metal bands, in your opinion, for you. You know.
Okay, at the moment, I think I really enjoyed all albums. Well, there are only 2, but of Beast in Black. And so at the moment, I'm really into them. So yeah, definitely them. With a Temptation, Wasp. And then now it gets difficult.
You can add old bands too. Vixen.
Sorry?
Vixen.
Vixen. Oh, I never really listened to them a lot. I know they exist. So sorry for that. But now it gets really difficult. Now I need a 5th because I've got Nightwish, With a Temptation, Wasp, and Beast in Black. Yeah, I think I have to go for Judas Priest because I just Painkiller is one of my favorite songs. You know, so that's why I have to choose them.
It's interesting. I have read a question that I can't find anymore. Well, one guy saying that he's a fan of Burning Witches, and he sends a lot of Judas Priest and Saxon on the music, on the band's music, and he also thinks you have an influence by Doro Pesh. So he asked if this is true. You know, I can't remember who asked that question. Yeah,
I think Serena really got some things from Doro Pesh, but I went to a concert, I really enjoyed it, and don't ask me why exactly. Maybe it's because it's pretty straightforward music. Maybe that's why I really enjoyed it live, but I don't really like to listen to it at home or something. It's kind of weird. Yeah, that's just the vibe I got. I really loved the concert. Seriously, like one of the best concerts I ever been to. But I personally don't get get a lot of inspiration from Doro. But yeah, what was the other one that you said?
Saxon.
Yeah, it's funny because I heard someone else actually that's in a Saxon cover band, and you heard him say that actually, it does sometimes have a bit of a Saxon vibe, but no, and it's not a band either I listen to a lot, so it's like, I don't know, maybe it is because I do listen, I do love Iron Maiden, and I do love the energy in the vocals of Bruce Dickinson. So maybe it's just the English vibe there, you know. And of course, Judas Priest that section. I don't know. Yeah, okay. People sometimes also said accept, you know. Maybe it is because we do have these. We have a little bit of the same song structures, maybe also sometimes, you know.
Okay.
I hear a lot of King Diamond influences in your music.
I love to do the crazy stuff, and we of course did this cover, and it really inspired me because I saw this interview with King Diamond, and he said, "Oh yeah, I get all my inspiration from basically being a kid and being scared in my bed of monsters in my bed and stuff like that." And was like, "Oh, that's so awesome! I'm going to write a song about that." So yeah, I can't deny that I absolutely was inspired by King Diamond, especially for Lucid Nightmare. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, are you writing new music now?
Sorry?
Are you writing new music?
Yes, there's actually a song waiting for me. So I'm going on holidays to Croatia for a few weeks, and Romana and Damir have a place there, and then his parents live there. So yeah, we're basically going to have a holiday, but I hope to feel relaxed enough to also write something there. To be honest, it does feel like then I have to do something, you know what I mean? But like holidays, but then I have to do things again. I'm not sure if it will happen, but I will try. And if it doesn't happen, then I will start writing after the holidays. So, yeah.
Cool. Another question from Aldemir. He's asking if streaming platforms bothers you, or do you prefer old school system? You know, physical media, CD, vinyl.
Yeah, it's a funny question because, to be honest, I'm too lazy to put on something physical all the time. And when I have my phone with me, I want to listen to a stream, you know, it's easy. So, it's easy. So I love streams, but I do, when I really like a band, I love to have, a digipack, for example, because you have extra artwork, you know, you can open it up, you have like extra artwork in there. I like it. So, and for vinyl, I actually like Dance with the Devil the most on a vinyl system. So I listened to it at a friend's place, and there were really, really good speakers like Focus, the brand Focus, and then some kind of anniversary version. Mm-hmm. And they were like, when they were new, I think there would be 8,000 or something. So good speakers, you know. And yeah, I loved it so much. So the vinyl until now is definitely for our album now. It's my favorite thing, but I don't have it myself. Also, again, because I tried it and I just didn't want to spend that much money. And then it sounded like shit, you know. I had some music and it was didn't really work. So maybe if I saved up some money, I will get a vinyl player.
Guys, I have a question.
Go, Laura.
Is it too difficult to find another women musicians to play heavy metal in Europe?
It is difficult because, you know, not everyone, you know, there are some people that can play it well, but are they available? You know what I mean? That's another question. And and do they want to play exactly this kind of metal? You know, the ideal thing is to have people in the band that are really, really fond of the kind of metal they also play. You know, and it's just altogether it's a little bit difficult. Yes, because of course there are way less female musicians than guy musicians. Yeah. So it is not the easiest thing. And of course, all around the world there are enough. But then, you know, are they going to live in Switzerland? Are they going to make a living in Switzerland or maybe in the Netherlands? You know what I mean? So it's like, because, they never regretted hiring me. But, of course, I costed a lot of money because they didn't expect to need to buy extra plane tickets and stuff like that, you know. So it is expensive to have people from other countries. So it's definitely something that we also take into consideration while looking for someone new. You know, so.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to move to Switzerland? If things, if Burnwitz really got bigger, that we hope so. So, but do you have any plans to move there?
Yeah, I mean, I know a story from actually. Do you know Glory Hammer?
Cool. Cool.
Do you know Glory Hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Glory Hammer is a band. All the musicians in there can live from the band, but not the singer. You know why? Because he lives in Switzerland. Because Switzerland is fucking expensive. So
I can imagine.
We have to be very big for that to be able to happen.
Oh.
So I'm trying. Trying to
here.
That's why you're still in Netherlands.
Yeah, that's why I stay here, because I know a job that I'm good at, that I can do freelance here with, Dutch language also. So I'm basically, I would be a little bit helpless in Switzerland. Maybe in the future, when there's, more people following us, then I can give also more vocal coaching online and do more with my Patreon, more with my big cartel, shop or whatever it will be in the future. And if that all goes, works well, then maybe in the future it doesn't matter where I live, because I can make a living out of the internet. But as long as that's not possible, I don't see myself moving to Switzerland, to be honest.
Okay.
No, in the future.
About vocal lessons and everything, I'm gonna put on the as soon as this video is on air for people that watch later. I'm gonna put your link to Patreon on the description if you want to add me some email or link to for people who want to take vocal lessons with you to contact you. Please send today and I'll put that. Okay.
All right. Oh, I have to send it now.
Okay. Send it now and he'll pass to me.
Oh.
Okay.
Laura, you can move.
I got a question.
You can move to Brazil because here is a lot cheaper, and you can find a lot of female musicians to start a band. So
no, but don't come to Brazil right now.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wait for things here got better. I don't know when this will happen, but not now.
I got one question.
Go, Jay.
You said you were going to Switzerland maybe next week to meet the band and audition another guitarist. Can we expect that? Can we expect that you and the girls maybe do a live stream show during this quarantine?
Yeah, we already did this acoustic jam. I'm not sure if we do something again, because we already kind of like. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Maybe if we have the new guitarist, we will do a live stream with her. But that would be cool, But we'll see. Yeah, it would be cool.
Okay.
There's one guy here. He really wants to know if you like Zakk Wylde. I mean, he's a big fan because he doesn't stop asking if you like Zakk Wylde. So please tell me.
Please don't say you don't, because he's going to kill himself.
Which question is it? What?
He really wants to know if you like Zakk Wylde.
Zakk Wylde,
player, Black Label Society. Okay, the guy won't stop asking that until I'm asking you.
Zakk Wylde. I never, on a regular basis, listen to Zakk Wylde, so I'm afraid I probably don't that much.
Yeah, a little bit boring.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should listen to it. Maybe I never heard of it. I don't know. I mean, I did heard of it. That's why I think I probably don't like it, because I know the name. Yeah, I know the name. Sorry. Oh,
here she is to say hi to you.
Oh.
So I guess the guy is leaving the room right now after.
Sorry.
Okay.
Is there a band? Is there a band from metal that you think, oh, I should listen to this band more often, or I don't see the point of so many people like this band, and I could like this band. Is there a band like that for you?
Wait, there's a band that so many people listen to, but I wouldn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Motorhead. And you know why? I like one song. I like the Ace of Spades because there's more melody in it, and it's more like a melodic song instead of a punk song. You know what I mean? That's why so really kind of sorry and now how many people really like that and how much of a cult hero he is. But you know, that is the example of what a lot of people like and I don't.
There's another Motorhead song with a lot of melodies that I don't know if you already listened to this one. The name of the song is "The Chase is Better Than the Catch." It's a very melodic song. Yeah, maybe you start listening to Motorhead with different ears.
Laura, there's no problem because these guys here, they hate me because I don't like the Beatles at all. I tried many times. How
can anyone don't like Beatles?
I don't like the Beatles either.
We all have bands that we can stand. I can't stand Rolling Stones, for example. I think they are shitty bands, and people love Rolling Stones. So we all have this kind of bands we can't stand. I can't stand Nirvana. I think it's one of the worst bands ever. But people love Nirvana. Okay, what can we do? So let's say, please. Conversem com ela para poder procurar a pergunta aqui. Jay, tchau. Okay, go ahead.
Lucas is asking, how do you, the girls, the band, write the lyrics? How do you share the things in writing?
How is your approach for writing the lyrics?
Yeah, when I write most of them. But when I started, and of course I was new in the band, so I did a lot of research. So I asked everyone, what would you want me to write? And apparently some members of the band, normally don't really get involved. But it was kind of like, it was funny because everyone said, yeah, something witchy, So yeah, it's kind of the obvious things. And then there are people that did care. So Lala actually, she writes some lyrics sometimes, and she has them in the book. And she gave this one lyric to me. Okay, this one's special for me. It's something that I feel like kind of personal. And I really loved these sentences where she says, come my child to the sea of lies, drown your soul. It sounds so emotional. So I really used that because it's like grabbed me emotional, like, I'm going to write this, but I, needed to rewrite, most of it because the idea was clear, you know what I mean? So I kind of like stole the whole idea of that song and I used it for the chorus, those sentences, because I loved it. But it didn't fit on the music, so you have to fit it on music. It has to be, perfect English. It has to be, make some sense maybe in rhyming and blah, blah, blah. So, of course I had to rewrite it, but that is one of the better songs, and I love to get ideas from other people because, to be honest, like one of the most difficult things for me is to start with an idea because basically you can do anything. So it's, what are you going to choose? You know what I mean? So you have to kind of like focus on something.
And so you come up with the melodies too, or only the lyrics?
Yeah, I write the melodies myself, and when we're in the studio, we fix some things that maybe can be a little bit better. Or I had one song that most of the songs were fine. Actually, everything went very natural for me because I never worked together with someone that writes songs so well for vocals. So Romana is really good at just writing a good song that is easy to write something on for a vocalist. It's man, I've been in a progressive band and that's totally different. You know what I mean? Then you really have to search and try and this was most of the times it was just like, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, and then you already got something that was really cool. You know what I mean? So it was easy. It was good. And there was this one song that I just wasn't happy with at all, and we finished that one in the studio with the lyrics I had, but we totally changed a lot of the places where things happened. So kind of like it got into such a nice song after that, because Culver, you can also add some effects that really fitted the song. So it was for Necronomicon. So I said, let's do that, King Diamond thing where there's this creepy low voice in there, So Yeah, so I actually loved this subject to write about this book that has actually never been written and everyone thought it was there. It was by H.P. Lovecraft, for people that don't know. So it's like this that kind of almost invented horror, and so I just wasn't happy, but in the studio it really came together, and of course Smear could also help a little bit with this, and he really helped me go through it, because I just keep saying, sorry, I'm not happy with this song, and he said, you know what, don't worry, we'll finish it in the studio. So yeah, that was really helpful, and there was and Wings of Steel was really by request, because they were like, we have to make something for the fans, so yeah, that one was by request. But yeah, for all the other songs, I just basically asked a lot of people to get inspiration. I went I did some research about witches, of course, and of course I already ran into a lot of cool things. So for example, the Sisters of Fate, it's about the Greek mythology, right, where you have the 3 witches being able to cut live threads and stuff like that,
Well, talking about inspiration from other people to write your lyrics, there's one guy here that asked, and I can't find his question, that you if you also can find inspiration by things around you, like to write religion and politics subjects, if you are into this.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not really into it that much. Oh. Yeah, I've been brought up religious, so I was inspired by it a little bit, so I think with Dance with the Devil, it's kind of, a little bit inspired by it, I guess. And also, it's funny that he says that. I mean, there's actually this one sentence, but no one will ever find out which one, but it's because there was I went to church with my parents. I'm not believing anymore, but I was into it a lot then. And they sang songs in church, and there were these kind of modern songs, not really, they're maybe from the 70s or something sometimes, but there was this one song that really inspired me to actually write The Final Fight, so a part of it,
which is the best song of the record. Final Fights and Black Magic. Black Magic and Final Fights.
Oh yeah, Black Magic is actually personal experience, and for the rest I'm almost always into the more fantasy-like stuff. Yeah, you're saying the politics and religion. Yeah, Sea of Lies is one that does that, but it's really because Lala gave it to me, and I was like, oh, it's a good idea, so let's do it, But yeah, if it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be anything religious or politics on the album. But
okay.
Yeah, but Lovecraft is a perfect source of inspiration.
Yeah, yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's cool. I really, since to be honest, I discovered it recently because I was into fantasy books, and I still didn't read anything of H.P. Lovecraft, but yeah, I think I kind of have to, because I discovered so much about it. It was so cool, like the Cthulhu, actually, if you look at tattoo artists, so many people are inspired by it and have, tattoos of that octopus kind of creature, so it's kind of cool. Yeah.
You should research about Robert Howard. He's a writer too. He has maybe will be another source of inspiration for you. Robert Howard. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, I'm reading The Witcher at the moment. I saw the movie, I played the game, and now I have to read the books. Okay.
Okay, cool. Robert Howard.
Yeah.
Write it to me later. I will forget.
Okay. From Aldemir Márcio. The guy is a big fan of you. A more personal question: if you practice sports?
Yeah, I do. Fitness mostly. I mean, I did this group lesson, so just yoga, fighting on music, whatever. It's just all in the fitness groups, right? And before that, I love to do some free running. I sucked at it. I will say that I wasn't really good at it, but I enjoyed it. So I stayed on the ground a bit more. I didn't do all these crazy roof jumping things, but but it was fun. And yeah, I did some turning, or it's all the same. I had fun. I've never been really specifically good at something, but at fitness at least keeps me healthy, and it's nice for singing. You feel if I did a workout compared to doing no workout at all, I feel like I have a little bit more stamina to get a powerful voice when I sing and stuff like that.
Okay, do you have any more questions? I have one from our viewers here. Jay, Claudio?
There's a question, a good question from Israel. She asks if what's your opinion about the drive-in concerts?
Yes.
Drive-in concert.
Dorofek did one recently.
But I hope that this whole situation will be over as soon as possible. But at least then it's possible, and if it helps to curb the corona, because at least that was the only logical explanation that I heard until now is like, okay, if you at least make sure that hospitals don't get overcrowded, and that you protect the weak people, then it kind of should be fine. So if it helps, it helps, but I hope it will be not necessary soon, because everyone's fed up with it, of course.
Well, I have a question here from Alcio Villa-Lobos that I really didn't get it. Did you, Jay and Claudio? He's asking to Laura if she thinks the music industry has become too sanitized and people just wanted to play it safe.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
He wants to say that because of the people can say anything about many things about sensitive topics because they
or maybe he just saying that everything is too predictable nowadays. You went to see a show, and then you know exactly the set list, what the singer will say in between songs, and everything is too predictable. I think that may be the point here. I don't know.
It's a lot of interpretations from his question. But Laura, please.
It's a good question, actually. I never really thought about it, but I think these days, of course, new bands start, and I think one of the most surprising acts to me, which I saw live also, of course, is Illstorm, and they have like a rubber duck, So it's kind of like they were one of the first that started this genre, where there's, that actually maybe they didn't start it, but they got really big with it, that you just have a lot of fun, and basically that's how they did it. And if you look back at metal history, there were, of course, lots of genres invented, and everything was a bit new, And if you have the internet, you just have access to all this history. So I wonder if it's really in that way sanitized or not. I don't really think so. I think it's more like we're used to seeing a lot of stuff, and then in real life, kind of like the pace is slower, but you can on the internet find everything. And I think this is more likely to be the cause, that it feels sanitized in that way, that everything's a lot of the same. But to be honest, there's the other side where some bands that popped up very quickly know how to use the formula of a successful band very well. So they basically are maybe a little bit more predictive than other bands, because they just take what's already there and use it to be also successful. You know what I mean? So it's like, it depends on which band you look at, I think, also. And I think it's maybe, the other side is in the 80s a lot of things happened, and maybe now a little bit less happens in terms of developing the music. I'm not sure, because I wasn't there in that time, but a lot of things seem to be happening around that time, and now it's maybe calmed down a little bit, so maybe that's also a reason. But I actually thought that you meant, for example, last year they prohibited wall of death at Wacken, you know, and I kind of understand why you would want to prohibit it, because it can all go wrong. Okay, it's true, but then at the same time I'm like, yeah, but that's so much part of the culture. Why would you prohibit it? You know what I mean? So I was kind of sad about that. So, but you didn't mean that, but but yeah, they definitely.
Can you imagine Exodus show without a wall of death?
It's part of it, you know. It's just weird.
Okay, we're approaching to the end. Let's see more questions. I kind of lost everything here.
As usual.
I see what
as usual.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Israel wants to know what would be your dream band. You know, if you have to form a band, who would be the guitar player, the bass player, the drummer?
Yeah, that's difficult because I like different genres, you know. So for different ideas, you would need different people. Now, I still have this idea that I might want to try in the future, but it's difficult for me to know which guitar players would be perfect because, yeah, it's simply the music is not there yet, you know what I mean? And I want to maybe combine this electronic thing because, like in Rammstein, for example, it just gives a lot of power to the music, you know? And I think this is cool. This is also the reason why, for example, I like a lot of Nightwish's songs because it has a drive in there, you know, and they don't use it. Maybe the electronics, yeah, okay, they do have the. It is with a keyboard, of course. They don't have the industrial vibe though, but I don't really care how. But I want to have this vibe, you know what I mean? And I want to have this storytelling vibe of the, you know, what Within Temptation always has a little bit, you know. It brings you almost into another world because there's cinematics in there, kind of like musically. So I like those kind of things. So I would need someone that can do this electronically with, I don't care what, maybe with computer, with keyboards, I don't know. And for guitar, I'm just a really big fan of the guitar playing of Timo Somers because he's in D-Lane and he's one of the best guitarists I know because there's so much emotion in there also. And I know he also likes to combine dubstep and guitar playing, so maybe Timo Somers, I don't know, but it's difficult. I would need a bass player that really understands how to bring this energy in there. I just didn't think about this, to be honest. Who would it be? I don't know.
Shamir from the circle. He's a big fan of
he understands bass. That would be a good pick. Yeah. And for drums, I don't know yet either. You know, the thing is, but you can do electronic stuff with drums. You know, you can have this electronic pad beside the drum kit, for example, and have like these samples on it. So there's one guy I know that actually did this before. It's like Evo. Shit. What is the surname? I'm bad at names. And he did this game project. So he did Karma Flow. I don't know if you know Karma Flow, but a lot of artists joined there.
But the cool thing is that you coming from a heavy metal, traditional heavy metal band, also likes electronic elements into your music if you had the chance to do it.
This huge feeling, you know, and kind of like also.
I like it too.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is because the metal audience sometimes is so narrow-minded that they don't allow electronic stuff come into the music because they think it's false metal and stuff like that, and I think it's so boring.
It has to stay metal, you know, and if it stays metal at the same time, if you're able to do that, then people will be always happy, you know. But for example, Amaranti, whatever. It's kind of like in the middle, you know. It's almost too much, but it's not yet too much, but almost. So like actually, they have all the people that are really into it. They love it, you know what I mean? So Yeah, they did a good job, I think.
Yeah.
Theater of Tragedy did it at some point in their past with two records that they mix a lot of electronic stuff, and Paradise Lost did it too on 2 records as well, and they lost a lot of fans when they did that. And I think it's the best 2 albums by them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, because you have to, you're in the metal scene, so that's basically, that's why I think I wouldn't do well in the pop scene, because I like to sing a little bit aggressive, you know what I mean? There's something aggressive in my voice, so if you listen to most pop music, it's just not in there. Maybe Lady Gaga has it a little bit, but to be honest, I listened to her new album, and I listened to this new album of her, and I was like, she's trying to do this thing that everyone's doing a little bit more, this cute style, but just her voice doesn't fit to it, and I think I would have the same problem. So, yeah, I think I have to stick to metal, but also because I just like guitars.
Okay.
And she's a big rock heavy metal fan. Lady Gaga is a big heavy metal fan.
Yeah.
I have one last question, since you mentioned Nightwish more than once. It's a simple question. Tarja or Floriansen?
I love the versatility and the power of Floor, but I think what Tarja brought into the band, it's just it's so like a fairy tale, you know what I mean? It's like something special, a special vibe that's not there now, in my opinion, and that's why I still prefer Tarja.
Jay, Claudio, do you have any last question?
Yeah.
No. I think Laura can add anything to the Brazilian fans. If you want to leave a message to them.
Ooh, a message.
Yeah.
Oh, stay tuned. Stay tuned for the
because everybody's waiting for Burning Witches to play here anytime soon.
Oh yeah, I really hope next year. I really don't know actually, because I didn't look into it. I know that the management guy is from North America, and I didn't check if the booking thing that we're now with is actually also for South America. But also watch out for that, because I think news will be coming soon of a new guitarist, of where what our plans are for America, and hopefully it will work next year. But fingers crossed for that.
It will.
Burning Witches records have been released here in Brazil, so that's I think there's maybe a good chance, a slight chance for the band to tour here, maybe next year. I guess next year. This year is over actually, but that would be an interesting combo. Burning Witches and Destruction, because Destruction hasn't toured yet here with the new album, Port to Perish. That would be very, very interesting.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Okay. So Laura, thank you very, very much for your time, for being here as our special guest. All the best. Take care there. I know things are better in Europe with all this coronavirus pandemic, but take care, be healthy, and all the best for you and the Burning Witches. Hope to see you soon in Brazil playing here. Okay?
So yeah. So you too. Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you, Laura.
Since I was the first one who contacted you, I want to thank you personally for being so kind, so patient, and thank you for the great hour we had here.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
And I'm going to send you the name of the author, Robert E. Howard, so you can check his books.
Oh yeah, I will check it. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
So I'm going to end it.
Yeah, see you later.
Obrigado a todos vocês que estiveram com a gente esse tempo inteiro, e cheque o trabalho da Laura no Burning Witches também. As I said to them, thank them, all viewers, for joining us during this hour, and I asked them to, for those who don't know Burning Witches in your work, to check the band out. Okay?
Yeah.
Bye-bye, guys.
Great.
Bye-bye.